Well, I'm really happy and that we were honored to have our last speaker, and I want you to give her a real round of applause here. Tell her thank you very much. This next guest is one of the few that showed up here today to show us that this is not just one party, that we have both parties represented. We have a new delegate, Ned Curry, who is the co-chairman of the Sportsman's Caucus and has read and supports the Second Amendment. Delegate Ned Curry.
Thank you, Delegate. I just wanted to say, as I sat here and I've listened to the speeches, I just can't add anything more because I agree with everything that's said. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to take some time to introduce myself to you all so that you can put a name with a face. And like many of you, I got introduced to the shooting sports and hunting when I was a small kid by my grandfather. And how many of you, fathers and grandfathers, kind of carried on the tradition? So again, I just wanted you to put a name with a face and know that I am pro Second Amendment and that my door is always open, and don't hesitate to come see me. So thank you.
Our next speaker has spent a few years before coming here working on liberty issues and working very hard to make sure all those constitutional rights are upheld. And I'm very proud to introduce Delegate Robin Grammer.
Howdy folks, my name is Robin Grammer. I'm the one of the delegates from District 6, Dundalk, Essex, Edgemere. We're one of the new, well, I'll give you the story very briefly. There were people concerned about a lot of issues in our district, concerned about taxes, concerned about jobs, and concerned about the Second Amendment. And I'm happy to, if you don't know, I'm happy to announce that we swept the district and we filled it with staunch advocates for the Second Amendment. Like the other people here, from the time when I was a young boy, I was a part of Hunters Association. My family used guns recreationally, and because I'm a staunch supporter for gun rights, peaceful ownership and use of firearms, I made it one of my first actions here in Annapolis to issue or to put in place a bill to repeal SB 281. And I just want everybody here to remember that this is an issue. It's going to be a long fight. It's going to take several years if you want to start to win back your gun rights. So please continue to organize. Please continue to come down here and advocate for the things we all believe in. Thanks for coming out.
I want to tell you, when you think about taking a risk and going out and working and helping support somebody, I can tell you when Robin had his very first fundraiser, I went halfway across the state, went out there and said, we're going to endorse this man, we're going to work hard for him, and he's here today. So go out there, take that risk, go out there, work for those people and help them. Our next speaker, you all know, and he's been here, been a mentor of mine, and been a staunch advocate for the 12 years I was here for the Second Amendment, and everybody knows him. I want a real warm welcome for Delegate Tony O'Donnell.
How's everybody feeling today? Pretty good? Yeah. So just like District 6 and Robin talked about, in District 29, we also swept our district with pro-Second Amendment legislators. And one of them said he was pro-Second Amendment, but everybody knew, Mike Lewis, that he wasn't working hard. Because we want people working hard up here for our Second Amendment rights. Now, just very briefly, I got to tell you something. When I was 18 years old, I put my right hand up and I took an oath. And that oath was to protect the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I will go to my grave fighting for our constitutional rights, I got to tell you. And I am so proud that you're here, and I'm so proud to be your friend, and I'm so proud to have all these legislators behind us who are fighting for our rights. One last thing, in 2013 when SB 281 was coming through the pipeline at us, we were concerned at the beginning, knowing it was coming, that we wouldn't have cooperation between all of the 2A groups throughout the state. And I got to tell you, I'm so proud and so pleased that the 2A groups banded together in a way that I hadn't seen before. And the NRA and Maryland Shall Issue and others stuck together to fight. We didn't necessarily prevail in that fight, but ultimately we will prevail because right is on our side. God bless you all.
Thank you, Tony. Now, our next speaker is going to be a great help. She can't say some things, and she can't tell you some things, but I can. She's going to be a judge. And I can tell you that when she gets there, I've known this lady. And as a delegate, I can tell you she's a fighter. She understands the Constitution. She's willing to stand up and fight for it. And I don't think that black robe is going to take any of that away. So I want to invite up here Delegate Kathy Vitale. And when she swears that oath, I have a copy of the Second Amendment circled inside this Constitution. Please keep that with you at all times. Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you. Well, it's good to see everybody out here today, and I think that what Delegate O'Donnell said was very true. You know, the tides really did change in 2013 and in a variety of different ways, and certainly I think the cooperation from all the organizations and those that you've asked to come and speak to everybody is really important because it needs to carry you on through the next several fights that you have going for you. Michael's right. On the 23rd of this month, I will retire from the House of Delegates and take a seat on the Anne Arundel County Circuit Bench. And in preparation for that, you can imagine, because you see, there's faces here you've never seen before. And I'm very proud and very pleased to be able to tell you all that there are a whole host of new delegates and new senators that are here to fight for you. And how important that is to make sure that you give them your words, your thoughts, and make sure that they stand with you in action on what's taking place. That probably is the single most important thing that you can do when you're down here today. Now, Michael, I'll have you know, as I was preparing comments for the 23rd, one of the things that we do when we're sworn in is that we swear to uphold the Constitution. It doesn't say pieces of the Constitution. It says the Constitution. So as I stand up on the 23rd, bear this in mind, that I will swear on my honor to support a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. That's the Second Amendment for those who've never read it. I don't think that's any of you all. And it comes with a whole host of other rights contained within your Declaration, contained within your Constitution, that all talk about upholding the law as it was intended. My obligation as a judge is to ensure that our citizens are safe, our communities are protected, and that our laws are upheld. So congratulations, and thank you very much for coming down on, once again, a cold February morning.
Thank you, Your Honor-elect. Our next speaker wears many hats down here, and while he is the minority leader, that's not his most important hat. His most important hat is a new dad. So I want to invite up Delegate Nick Hickey.
Thank you very much, Mike. Hello, everybody. If you believe in the Second Amendment, let me hear you say, stand and fight. Stand and fight. Stand and fight. Stand and fight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are making great strides for freedom and liberty, and the battle is here in Maryland. You know, when I talk to my friends around the country, they kind of make fun of me for being a Marylander when it comes to the Second Amendment. Has this happened to you? It's embarrassing, but you know, things are slowly clicking in the right direction, even in places like Illinois, California, Washington, D.C., and they're going to continue to move in the right direction because we have people like you fighting for what we know to be core to the beliefs as human beings, that we have the right to self-defense and to preserve our rights that God gives us. Now, I'll tell you, it's so important to my family that even my wife, who was 6, 7, 8, 9 months pregnant, we were out campaigning all campaign season long for Second Amendment candidates around the state. And as the leader of the Republican caucus, I'm proud to tell you we are stronger than ever in the history of the state of Maryland. We have 50 delegates who are solidly supportive of the Second Amendment, and we are all in, ladies and gentlemen, for the freedoms that we believe in. And I do want to mention, because as a proud father, it gives me great pleasure to tell you that my son, who's here today, his first rally is here to be with you on Second Amendment Tuesday. So thank you all for being with us, and I do want to echo what's been said earlier. We are going to win this battle because we're going to work together and be united for the freedoms that we believe in, whether it's Maryland Shall Issue, Associated Gun Clubs, the NRA. We are in this together, and we will fight to the end. God bless you all.
Good job. Thank you, Nick. I want to introduce Delegate Seth Howard.
Thank you, Mike. My name's Seth Howard. I represent 30B, which is Southern Anne Arundel County. I am a former U.S. Marine and Army veteran and patron member of the NRA. I just quickly wanted to talk to you today. I've picked up two bills, HB 39, which is the repeal of the ballistics fingerprinting. We've got some good movement on that. I need you to put some pressure on the people in judicial. I need you to make the calls to your senators and your delegates, and it's time to move on that. It's solved, I believe, 0.00825% of crimes. Even the state police have all of their weapons are cataloged in this system. They created a murder on paper, thank God. And they used 2 of their own shell casings fired consecutively from one of their state police weapons. Not only did the system not match up to the shell casing previously in existence, it did not match the 2 shell casings that came from the same gun consecutively. This is a faulty system, and they've got 300,000 pieces of brass up there. They're going to need a new building. It's becoming very, very costly. So I need your help and your support. So call your senators, call your delegates, and thank you very, very much for your support. Keep up the good fight.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all the delegates. I had pre-filed some bills, and they all got picked up. Unfortunately, they first got picked up by a delegate who got made a secretary. Then they got picked up by a delegate who's going to be a judge. And so now they're spread out all over. But on the ballistic fingerprinting, one of the things is, many of you remember last year, they sold the machine. They don't even have it anymore. And they sued the people who made it. So this should be a no-brainer. Well, down here, that don't count. I'm very proud to have worked very hard with this next man to get him elected in Cecil County. And he's going to do a great job down here. Delegate Hornberger.
Thank you, Delegate. Folks, I want to share a little story with you. About 2 years ago, we had a gun rally at my delegate's office, right outside. Mike Smeagol was there. We were all in good spirits. Guess who wasn't there? Our delegate. All right, I'm not a political person. I'm not someone who's done this for their whole life, but I am a life endowment member of the NRA, and I just felt that wasn't adequate. Come to find out, he had voted for SB 281 in subcommittee, but then voted against it on the floor. You got to watch these politicians. Folks, that's what compelled me to run, okay? Everybody's got an issue that they're passionate about. Second Amendment rights are the one that I'm the most passionate about, and they said it couldn't be done. They said I couldn't take out a 20-year incumbent, but because of the people behind me and the strength that we had, we took out a gun-grabbing liberal. We fought hard during the campaign, and we will continue to fight hard down here in Annapolis, and I really appreciate everybody being out here today. Thank you so much.
Senator Norman.
Good morning. Thank you all for being out here. My name is Wayne Norman. I represent northern Harford County and northern Cecil County, part of which is Delegate Hornberger. Up in Cecil and Harford, there's more guns in my district than there are voters. So you know how we vote in Harford and Cecil County. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the guys who were here last week for Camo Day. I ask you this one question, one favor.
Thank you. All right, in the name of efficiency, we're going to call up Senator Reedy, Senator Sollig, and Senator Bates, all to address you at the same time. Beauty before age.
I think you got them both. Sorry about that. How far we've come. When I was in high school in Prince George's County, we actually had a gun range in our school basement. We had a gun team. That was Prince George's County. Amazing, isn't it? Thank you guys for being here, for fighting the fight. We're here for you. Help us where you can. I represent Howard and Carroll counties, and I will keep up the fight for you. God bless.
I'm Senator Justin Reed from Carroll County. We got any Carroll County folks here? Carroll County, where gun control means being able to shoot straight. That's what we do in Carroll County. I am very honored to be able to tell you I've just been appointed to the state senate, and I'm now serving on the Judicial Proceedings Committee. So I'm a JPR, which is a great opportunity. You know, we have several opportunities in that committee. We do need your support. One bill I'll point out to you that doesn't necessarily deal with, I'm co-sponsoring a number of the bills that we've talked about today, working on several of them, but one bill I also have in is a tax-free week for hunting and outdoor sports supplies for the third week in April. So I've got that bill, and maybe we'll see if we can get some help, because I figured if we're going to keep giving you the shaft, we might as well at least get you a sales tax break. So hopefully we'll stop giving you the shaft too, and we appreciate how hard you've worked to help those of us. You know, it's all about, as you know, you got to win. If you don't win, you don't get to make policy, right? So we had to work hard. We had a great election cycle last year, and one of the stars that came out of that is a guy I want to introduce to you. Very excited about a new senator from Eastern Baltimore County who cares about these issues, and I'm looking forward to working with him closely in the state senate. I'm going to introduce him now. It's Johnny Ray Sally.
Thank you. As you said, I'm in the 6th District of Baltimore County, and I'll tell you, I just want to say just something real quick. I'm not going to take long. My grandfather served our country in the Army. My father served our country in the Army. I had the opportunity to serve our country in the Army. I have 2 sons right now that serve this country, this great country we have, they're both in the Army. One's in weapons repair, and he loves doing his job. And I tell you right now, we see the problems that we do have here in our nation and in this state. And we know the changes that we need. And that's why you're here today. We're here to fight. So keep on fighting. Keep with the faith. And please, don't stop. That's what it's all about, being faithful in this. And I promise you one thing, I'm right along with you, and we'll have a great fight together. I want to thank you so much for being here, and God bless you. Thank you.
Here, here. I'm very proud to bring up one of our next delegates, and she's going to do a heck of a job down here, and she's going to support all of the constitutional amendments. Delegate Ray. All right.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, this is the first time I get to address a big rally. This is pretty cool. You know, the last couple of years, I was standing there with you. And it is because of you, though, that I got elected. And I just want to thank you so much for that. And one of my biggest supporters is here today, and I'd like to recognize him. He was my driver. He was my bouncer. He was he called people. He just did anything I asked him to do. And Mike Lewis, take a bow, because he's awesome. And the Sanders Lake Sportsman's Club, if anybody's here from that, they were huge supporters of mine too. I've got 2 bills that I've already dropped. Well, one I dropped and one I'm still getting signatures on, and they're the one's a technical one where we're trying to get all veterans to be able to use their DD-214 instead, you know, since they don't have a retiree ID card, in order to be able to rent, purchase a handgun. And the other one is on reciprocity, where if you have a permit from another state, you can carry it to include concealed carry here. So go Utah permits, right? So thank you so much for coming out today. Please go and meet your delegates and senators and make sure your voice is heard again. Thank you.
Thank you. This next speaker, I'm very proud to introduce, and I ask all of you to, before it comes up as a public official, to recognize his service as a Lieutenant Colonel in the United States Marine Corps and a Harrier pilot, Senator Wall.
Hoorah! All right, hey, you know, if it ain't raining, you ain't training, right? Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to read something to you because this got introduced last night in the Maryland State Senate. I was very proud. This is my first bill. Someone called and asked me, hey, Steve, what are you going to do about your campaign promise? Let me read you something. SB 454, Senator Waugh et al., that means everybody else. Handgun permits, reciprocity, specifying that a permit to carry a handgun, including a concealed handgun, issued to an individual by another state is valid in Maryland. And I am very proud to have cross-filed this bill with Delegate Ray, who is a close friend and campaign mate. She's awesome. Folks, here's what it says. It says, any permit, any state, just like a driver's license.
Resident or non-resident?
Okay? Doesn't say anything else. That's all it says.